back from that quick breather. You're still watching news. We are streaming live on TV Africa Ghana on Facebook. Let's now continue in some other stories. The IMANI Center for Policy Education has revealed that most of the promises contained in manifestos of 3 political parties in Ghana are non-qualifiable. It was disclosed by Senior Research Associate Dennis Asari at an event to disseminate content of reports they call IMANI Manifesto here in Accra.
IMANI Africa Center for Policy and Education conducted an analysis of the manifesto of the New Patriotic Party NPP, the National Democratic Congress NDC, and the Movement for Change MFC for the 2024 elections. The Center for Policy and Education criticized those manifestos for lacking concrete solutions to Ghana's economic challenges, emphasizing that they were unclear, unrealistic, and failed to provide timeless for implementation. Senior Research Associate at IMANI, Dennis Asari, presenting the findings, noted that the manifestos contained 574 promises with a heavy focus on the country. Asari pointed out that most of these promises were overly ambitious and did not include cost implications. He called for increased citizens' engagement and advocacy to help the public understand the potential impact of these promises on national development.
Any of the parties that specifically say that I am going to, this is going to cost this much, is going to cost that much. The only thing that you see in the NPP one is that we are cutting expenditure by 3%. That one, they are very specific, and they are going to take out 30 billion. The NDC too said my infrastructure is going to cost 10 billion. So you see both sides, at least on one score, they are able to tell that. But in terms of sector by sector and theme by theme, they didn't cost their manifestos. So as at now, if you ask them, you say we are going to address or bring together all the VAT items under one common VAT rate, what will be the VAT rate? None of the parties can tell you. If you say they want to bring in tax incentives, none of the parties can tell you specific incentive. Okay. 3 manifestos is that none of them effectively addresses the structural problems to our macroeconomic challenges and public accountability. None of them really goes to the core. And what will happen is that there are a lot of things that they are saying. They are going to set up multiple schemes of stuff, but eventually, if we don't take care, by 4 years' time, we may be having another conversation either about another IMF program or another support program, because we don't spend time to deal with the core problems. So we pretend to be implementing reforms, but we are not really dealing with reforms. Another point too is that most of the manifestos are overly ambitious, and if it gets through, it may place a lot of strain on our public expenditure. And that cuts across for the 3 political parties. If you look at the NDC manifesto, you can see a lot of time being spent to expanding the issues and trying to find some sort of solutions for each particular theme or item that they want to deal with. And so I would say that in terms of detail and information, you see a lot more in the NDC manifesto. Likewise, if you look at the NPP manifesto too, you see a lot more of caution around in terms of the macro issues, and so you don't see specificity in terms of where they can get us to in terms of growth, in terms of trying to bring down exchange rate, inflation, and all of that, and as well as other key sectoral reforms that we want to see. And so you see the manifesto is trying to be a bit more cautious, but it had some very good, useful information or very good promises that seem